is the Investor Connect podcast program. This is Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of the show, in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, private equity, family offices, and many other investor groups for startups and growth companies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Mario, thanks for joining.
Hey,
Great.
good afternoon.
Good to
How are
catch
you?
up with you. How's it going there for you guys?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
Good, doing good. Are you based here in Dallas?
No, I'm actually in Austin. I'm in Georgetown. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
are you in
That's
Dallas or do
awesome.
you guys are in Austin?
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Austin too. Yeah. So we
Oh,
share the
okay.
same weather, which is hot right now.
I don't know what happened. That was a bit of a tease a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
It was. It just really nice and cool for about 3 days, and then suddenly it was not. Don't know
Yeah,
what
I
happened, but anyway.
I kind of thought it was here to stay, but then it came and went so quick. But loved it anyway. Kids loved it. Wife loved it. I loved it. But yes, sir.
Great. So how'd you get into Vest Social?
Well, I've been in the construction industry for my whole life. So, have you looked into it at all? Or should I just tell you about it?
I've looked at what you have
The
online,
website.
so I got an
Yeah.
idea of what you're doing, and we've done a
Sure.
number of construction deals, so seen some of the how that work, how that industry is going forward. So it sounds pretty cool. It's
Yep.
got
Yep.
some
Yep.
great opportunity, got some challenges as well, as you know. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how you're doing with it.
No, of course. Yeah. So I started this a little over a year ago. At least the company was registered, started development. I think late October, early November is when we started. We finally went live with it, after our ups and downs of, trying to get a brand new software off the ground. Finally got it launched about a month ago. So, I've always been pretty tech savvy myself. So I was able to, get my team or build a team and then, get our app going. So, or our platform going. So
Great.
that's what started it. For me personally, it was really a need, not necessarily a need because my construction company now, it's not like it's huge and I have a pretty good network of people. But generally speaking, when I need more people or I need anybody in a specific trade, it is difficult. So generally hiring in construction, it just sucks. It's hard. Whether you just need a company or a guy or a new employee, it's difficult. So and that's where the need came from, or or the thought that this is needed because every industry, every sort of trade is the same problem that I have. So
Hmm.
or had so or still have. But
And what kind of revenue are you seeing with it?
revenue is zero. We've been out for a month. We've been out for about 3 to 4 days, 3 to 4 weeks. So
Okay, great. How
yeah,
many
yeah.
users then, I should say?
That's a good question. Yeah, so with a little bit of marketing we've done, I think we've got about 600 downloads and about 350 signups actually in the app with a full account and everything. Little interaction on the application, but it's difficult to get people to become social when there's no audience. So right now we're just trying to build the audience, not necessarily pressing them too much or over promising that there is jobs and services available here. It's just trying to bring them in and our intent right now, like our main intent right now is just trying to get users in Texas, only in Texas. Really, actually, Dallas and Houston was the goal, but now really all three or four cities, sort of targeting all three of them for marketing. Because I can have, $10,000 spent on marketing. If I throw it across the United States, that's not going to do anything. We'll just be a fly on the wall. But if I can get, a bit of a good the markets in Dallas and Houston to actually believe in it, then I think we can replicate that. So
So how much do the users pay to use it, or do they pay anything?
no, generally it's free. The users aren't the most likely to spend money online, so there's ads that would occur, at least that we would generate. Right now, it is Google Ads. In the future, our own ads through our own deals, but we do have ads on the platform.
Hmm.
But then also some users who are more capable of spending money, such as actual businesses, the job listings would come at a cost. So
Right. And so how much are you trying to raise right now?
So let me just back it up a little bit of how much has gone into it. So just to get the app developed, and even with the marketing we have, we do have a pretty full team here. I think 10 employees already. To build the app and to get us to this point. So we spent about $750,000 so far. So interestingly enough, I'm not sure how often founders spend this much money before any kind of raising any kind of money. So I think we took a non-typical route of putting money into the business, which
And what's
came
the
from me
next round
first.
look like?
Well, no, well, the whole thing came 100% from me so far. So I think I can push it to another 1.2. And just to have the right expectation here, are you you guys are like a broker, or you guys just try to you have a network of people that you communicate with? Is that sort of like
Yeah, so we run an investor relations program. We help you find more investors, but we are a
okay,
retainer model. We have a
sure.
lot of angel groups and VC funds and others that don't let brokers in the deal. So we avoided the broker model. Works for some deals, but for a lot it doesn't. And we try to use standard investors, and angel groups are really a good fit for this model for sure. You do need a little more traction for some of those guys, but with some ideas, I think we can get you there.
Sure. Yeah, and the reason I asked was really see how much of the financials I should explain, like, because I think I personally may have gone an untypical route where I think somewhere in the range of about 700 has been put in. And I think I am willing to go to about 1.2 for needing more money. But obviously, the sooner we're able to raise, the sooner I can stop putting in my own money into it. At least,
Right.
pretty yeah,
Okay.
because that yeah. So that's as far as I can go, and it'd be a little difficult to operate a business once I've exhausted, 90% of what I put in. It's like, what's going to happen in a month anyway? So our deck was looking to raise 7 million to get our marketing out there to build our development team. And that's where I met Morrison Forster. So, and they very much explained that it's a little bit early for venture capital. So I thought, and they said maybe going the angel route was a little bit better. So we are 7 million was what I was trying to raise, but that would be more of a rolling out bigger marketing. And he just didn't think that was possible to raise that without real traction, without users. So right now we've built the thing. It's a great platform. It works well. And so right now we're just trying to build users, I suppose, through angels to keep us going. So that we can raise the actual venture capital.
Right. Yeah. This is still the world of angels.
Yeah.
It's not ready for the VCs yet. When you get $1 million of ARR, the VCs will be ready for you then, but that's a few more steps down the road. The thing you want to do is at this stage, if you're raising money, is to think minimum. What's the minimum I need to raise? And 500
Sure.
is a good number. Think about what could you do with 500K
Absolutely.
from the a group, angel or angel group, or if 10 angels put in 50K each, you have your 500 and see how far you can get with that. You already have a team, but I don't know if you have a sales team yet. That's probably the thing we have to start building now. And one thing you'll find is that angels are really, really not excited about the ad model. It's just so small. It's just kind of
Mhm.
hard to get going on that.
Sure.
And it's just can be tough. And where I see most people getting traction is going after more businesses, making this more like
Right.
a B2B C,
Right.
B2B to C thing, for example. In this case, you go after construction companies that are looking to hire people and they're paying you a fee to get access to the leads first. They want to go through and look first, and they'll pay a $10,000 per month fee to be able to comb through and pick up the people that they want for their stuff. So I'd seriously consider moving over to a B2B model for a while and then
Sure.
later look at, the B2C model where at this stage it's just very hard to get the B2C going for anything low cost. It just takes a huge amount of money with marketing to get out there. But if you
Right.
knock on the right 5 doors of construction companies that are looking to hire people, you'll find that that's not all that expensive of time. A couple of sales guys
Sure.
hitting Dallas, a couple hitting Houston, a couple hitting Austin. It's really not that expensive to get them in there. And what
Right.
they want to do is they want access to the content you have, and they just want to be able to look at it first. And I don't know if you know how LinkedIn got going, but that's kind of what they did. It was this B2C thing. Everybody can look at the network that's out there, but the employment recruiters were the ones that paid a 10K a month to go and look at all of the people first. And
Right.
anybody looking for a job, they had first access to it. And that's how they made that's how they kind of anchored it at the beginning was some what I call anchor customers who put in good money but they're getting special access. Have you ever looked at that?
No, right. And so right now the platform is sort of built to really not alienate anybody trying to come into the platform regarding construction. And the idea is, yeah, if I can, if we can build the network of people, then we have a lot of, then we can start filtering them through for the people that actually are willing to pay for some of these job opportunities or these employees. But the idea now is just to bring them in and create the database because there really isn't a place for construction. There's a couple sort of platforms out there that do similar work, but nobody that's really trying to build a network like a LinkedIn for construction. So
Right. And to be candid, those construction people don't have to use your app. they you just put it on a server. Here's the list of people that are out looking for jobs and what they want. Who do you want an introduction to? And you just doing
Mhm.
introductions to
Right.
those users saying, hey, there's somebody interested in talking to you. Here, I will make an introduction, and then they pay you money for that. It's really
Right.
not a big tech thing to do the back
No.
end thing.
Right.
Have you ever talked to any construction companies before or no?
Oh, no, not any large construction companies. I mean, the high so the thing about construction companies is that, if you have a facility somewhat, let's say you're building a brand new school and it's X general contractor who, does schools for the school district, every couple years or whatever the case is. That general contractor doesn't actually have a need to hire people. They hire companies. They hire companies such as they'll hire the fence company, the landscaping company, the framers, the individual trades, and it's the individual trades, the smaller companies that actually have the need for labor. So construction companies that, as large as they can possibly get, if anything, they need help recruiting, their engineers and their architects and their project managers and their administrative staff, which are they more than likely are on places like LinkedIn. So when it comes time to actually build and do the physical part of the project, where they hire the subcontractors, which are smaller companies, not always smaller companies, but just specialty trade companies, the window companies, the brick companies. And the labor for them is the ones that are actually hard to hire. The actual skilled guys doing the work. So if anything, it's actually trying to target more SMBs than anything, it's just small businesses, as opposed to large companies. So in attracting them, it requires the people. So again, trying to bring in the people for whatever social interaction or some sort of being able to find, a job listing for a brand new project, kind of just in a sense free. But yes, there is other. It's not just charging, a large company like a lump sum, like you said, like 10K a month, which they might do. Like a large company may do that, or an engineering firm might do that. But in the construction world, yeah, construction guys will, they don't know what it's like. That it actually costs a lot of money to hire a recruiter, for example. It costs $10,000 to hire somebody or percentage of their pay. But in small businesses don't know that that's the world above them for larger companies. So for us to hire it really is, I think there's more companies available, but it's definitely a smaller ticket price for them, whether it's just a subscription fee to the platform or subscription fee to be able to post job listings or and a few other premium services, I suppose you can say, but it won't be like large tickets like recruiting fees or anything like
Mhm.
that. So,
Well, it sounds like
um,
it's the guys you find on Angie's List, people that come out and do things for you. They do plumbing and they do other kinds of things. And Home Advisor's the other one. And there's about a
sure.
half dozen of those groups that aggregate those guys and they're lead gen for the plumber and so forth. But it
Right.
sounds like, it's not hard to pull that list off the website and go contact them either. It sounds like you need
No,
a huge sales force to do that.
no, you really don't. And the way that they've really designed the platform is to try and make it as automated as possible so that if it does get its own traction, the system is in place for anybody. But, and to touch on Angie's List or even Home Advisor, they're a little bit different because they are actually trying to connect homeowners with small businesses. So essentially, if, I go on there, I need a window replaced, I go on there, they contact the homeowners and they charge them each between 30, $50 or something like that just for the lead, and that's it for Angie's List. So it's they'll charge already an established company. So, but let's say that established company, it's them that this is a service for. Essentially, it's designed for them so that they can then hire new contractors, new help, new employees.
But it seems like
Um, it-
some of these services are always looking for people, like plumbers are always looking for people.
that,
And
that's right.
so
Yeah,
if you
there's
get a
one.
plumber, it's not hard to get them signed up to, be a subscriber. Maybe they have a pay a subscription service to get access to the leads first. It's $500 a month, whatever, and they
Sure.
can do what they want to with it, and they just get first access. So maybe that's
That
an
is
angle to it.
honestly it. The users will almost show us where they gravitate to, whether it's to the classifieds area or it's in the social area. If we end up with a million users in the social area, well, clearly, and we can focus on improved ad space there. If they're really gravitating to the classifieds, well, we need to see how we can offer them upgrades. So there's a number of ways that for us to monetize that isn't necessarily established outside of just ads, but that is still one of the points is that the way that we will end up, it's the users have a number of ways to use the platform. And if it was on the social side, if it's on in the classifieds area, then so be it. And right now, even the job listings, I mean, it's hard for us because who would actually pay for job listings when there's clearly not an audience on our platform? So the job listings is free, again, just to make it an area to invite people. Once they're in, there will be a number of ways, that there is, for example, and I know that I can't even imagine how many pitches and how many of these conversations happen where they say the words AI, but for us, there wasn't really a place for AI up until just recently where we are bringing that in. There is a language barrier, for example,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's an obvious language barrier that happens in construction. And mind you, that probably 80% of construction workers are Hispanic, and a great chunk of them don't speak the language. And
I got
anyway,
you. No, that's
we,
a good
we
one. Interfacing is
yeah,
a great
yeah,
place for AI for sure.
right. We can, even if you don't speak English, you can generally communicate with someone. And it's not that you're getting a non-English speaker come out to your house to give you a quote for your new carpet. It's really more along the lines of on a construction site. There's a lot of non-English speakers that are doing the masonry, that are doing the real manual labor. But if you were just a manual labor mason who didn't speak English and you did want to go somewhere else, how could you? You actually can't. I mean, you can if you want to, but what opportunities do you have to search for a new location to a new company other than asking around? And that's sort of the general concept. So this is, I remember where I was going with this. So you mentioned plumbers and how plumbers are always hiring, and sure, electricians as well. But then there's essentially every other trade, which is painters and sheetrockers, people who do tile, and it's really the non-technical trades. Now, I would say that most construction workers are all skilled workers in their own right, but they're not technically trained like if you were to be an HVAC technician, a plumber, an electrician, that sort of thing. But then, so every other trade, like I mentioned, like the painters, if you did want to go to a new painting company, either you know somebody or you don't, and that's about it. And if you wanted to pick up work on, from someone offered you a job, I mean, or to do work on site, you can't do that. But what if there was a platform where, they offer their services and do it in that manner? And if the English wasn't that great, there could be AI to translate that for you. And that's one of the easier AI tools to
Mhm.
generate. So we should
Yeah.
actually we should have a tool like that, ready to go on the app here in a couple weeks.
No,
So
that's a good addition there. Well,
yeah,
yeah, like I say, we have a program to help you raise funding. I think would probably do better just to raise it from your network at this point. But on the next round, you probably need something bigger, like $5 million. Well, that's where we come in when you're starting to raise more than just 500K. That's just a handful of angels doing that. But we're 3K a month for a 3 month commitment, so a little bit more than what you probably want to put up at this point. But like I say, let's stay in touch and see if we can help you on the next round. But so you have a
well,
great idea and a great product there.
let me ask you this. So, and just back to the original question. So you said you had, I guess, a retainer fee. I guess now you're mentioning it's 3 grand for a per month for a 3 month commitment. And even though this amount of capital has already been put in, and we have a platform, and we are trying to get the marketing out there, which is already rolling out, do you think we are still too early to raise any kind of funding?
No, I think you can go out and raise 500K. I think you probably just do better raising it through your network and family and friends of friends and so forth. 3K is pretty heavy for that. Most people coming to us are raising 1 to 5 or $1 to $10 million. And in some cases, they've just run out of investors. So when you run out of investors, that's when they come to us. But at this point, you really need to have a little more revenue traction. And so that's why I think 500K is probably the right amount. Just get 500 in and get the ball rolling, get some revenue coming
Yeah.
in, figure out where the traction is coming from. And now you have a really good story to tell the angels to kick up another million and so forth. Go through angel groups, get 1.5 million, go through pre-seed VC funds. If you really want to go down the VC path, they'll give you 500K to go get ready to go up the VC curve. So yeah, I think there's a lot of options out there for you guys. You have to figure out what kind of funding you want long term. If you bootstrapped it this much, you probably don't want VC funding anyway. But I don't know. You have to decide what you want to do on that front. But like I say, we're really probably the next level. We're more seed plus than seed fundraisers is what we do, just because the cost and the structure kind of puts us at a little bit later stage.
So is there a cost in addition to your 3K a month?
No, it's just the 3K, but for
Yeah.
a lot of people, that's a lot of money. For you guys, it may not be a lot of money, but some people that's at this stage,
Yeah.
before they have much revenue, that can be a challenge for them. But if you have the ability to pay and so forth, but we really like to have a little bit of revenue in the deal before we go forward with it. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit early from that point of view.
So let's say the barrier, if the 3K a month wasn't a barrier, you're saying, let's say you did go to, I guess, your resources and your network, you probably wouldn't be able to get something done because of the lack of revenue and how early this is.
It would take a while to get people signing up for it because they just expect tech deals to have some revenue coming in the door,
Mm.
organic growth, that type of thing. Somebody's
Sure.
paying money for it. And sometimes the app is with the user, you're not paying for it. You have to have some of these other groups lined up, contractors and plumbers and companies using electricians and plumbers. You've got 3 or 4 of those lined up and they're playing on a regular basis and they're happy with it and they want more. Now we can expand to the other cities because we kind of have the model figured out. That's where a lot of angels want to start coming in, is when they start seeing that the dollars are turning on.
Sure. And I will say the 3K seemed reasonable for services, but in the past or even nowadays, how do people invest in something that it has just hasn't even been developed yet in this scenario? So we're not asking money to develop where we're already developed and the entire thing was bootstrapped, but with over $1 million of bootstrap. So there's a lot of that's already been put in that would
You typically you'll get anchor clients to pay you for a custom version of your system, and you're using that money to really build out the rest of it and get enough money to start the sales on your core product. So you're looking for anchor clients. That's why I thought construction companies might be a good fit. They may want something like this, and they'll pay you a certain price, and you're at heart they're white labeling your software or something like that. And the value of that is they're giving you, 500-600K of contract money to go white label your stuff, or maybe it's an annual contract, and you're using that money to go hire your sales force to build your core service out. And so anchor clients is one way people use with it. If they're all small SMB contractors and plumbers and so forth, they're probably not going to be able to put enough up. They could be users paying $500 a month for the leads or what have you, or the hiring information and so forth, but they're probably not going to be able to pay much more than that. So that's
sure.
one way people do it.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Well,
I'll send you an email about how we work, and like I say, if you want to pursue it, we'll sit down and have some more calls, talk about how we would run a campaign. Like I say, sell something to somebody to show you're in the market. We want to avoid we're going to market in 2 months, because that's code for it could be 2 years. We don't know. We kind of want to be in the market that we can sell it and have sold a few to prove it. That's really all we need to get it going. But I have found it to be a crucial step.
okay, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll look out for your email and yeah, I'd love to stay in touch for sure. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Sounds good. Thanks so much for taking time.
awesome. Thanks a lot.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Paul T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.